I'm going to give you $100,000 to pop off. I dropped out of college. Andre Harrell ghosted me. I am not going to be the new face of the new version of Uptown Records.
Everybody checking for me, so I ain't got no choice but to prove that I ain't gonna fold under pressure. I'm just doing what I do. This is for everybody pulling for me. I'm a make a believer to you.
Hi, you might remember me from Making the Band 3 Season 2.
My people, my people, my people. Welcome to Storytelling with Dominique Renee, where I am telling my story and loving every minute of it. All right, y'all. I already know. Bone to pick. I get it. I got it. I've been gone. But guess what? We're not even here for all that. You here for the content. I'm here to deliver it, okay? All the rest of that, we can get into it at another time, okay? I miss storytelling. I miss telling you all about mi vida loca, okay? So that's what we're about to get into. We got to pick up. It's been a minute. But I left y'all with Andre Harrell ghosting me. That's where we left off. We left off with the late, great, R.I.P. to the legend, to the icon, Andre Harrell, who I loved dearly and still do despite anything, ghosting me after essentially promising me, after saying, hey, don't sign with Diddy. I got you, I'm going to give you a record deal. I'm not even giving y'all all that because if you didn't see the episode, what are you doing? Go back and watch. Because now it's time to move on to what happened next. Like, I was devastated. I don't know another word. I was devastated. Eventually, I had to stop calling and stop trying to figure out if this was some kind of fluke or mistake and recognize that the Andre ship had sailed. I am not going to be the new face of the new version of Uptown Records. And so I was lost in the sauce. Like I said, my mom was kind of momager at that time. And there were some places, I'll talk about this in a second, where she used some historical connections she had to the music industry that did help me along the way. But in general, we didn't know what we was doing. So I didn't know if the dream was gone. I had kind of got so revved up trying to get into the band, getting offered a solo deal by Diddy, getting offered, this opportunity with Andre Harrell, and then it all kind of blown up in my face. And then I'm like, well, what next? I was, lost is just such an understatement. I just did not know what was coming next. I knew I still wanted it though. I knew that okay, God, I know you ain't do all this for nothing. So how are we going to get to whatever it feels like the goal is, which is ending up in the music industry, ending up with a recording contract. So I am in school. Remember, I'm in my sophomore year at the University of Maryland at College Park. Go Terps, okay, for life. And it's a mess. I'm quasi-famous. And so everywhere I go, it's people who saw you on the show, fans, autographs, all those things. College is a little awkward. You got your people. I had a very, very small circle of very close people. And then y'all see how social I am. So, life of the party in other ways. So I was still having a good time. But I was very, very lost. And so my mom is now trying to help bridge these different connections. I already, like I said, got put in the studio with Neo, got put in the studio with Eddie F. So I have a couple of songs. And then I believe it was my mom, y'all, it was 20 years ago, who introduced me to Herb Middleton. Shout out to Herb, who I believe was formerly a Bad Boy producer from years prior, who was kind of off doing his own thing. I don't even know how my mom knew Herb. I ain't even gonna lie, y'all, Monique, that's a whole other series of episodes, my mama. But somehow we got connected to Herb and did some songs. And Actually a couple of songs, maybe 3 songs that I really liked, but the one I loved was Better Love.
Kind of love that'll make you feel better when I'm having a bad day or I'm stressing. A simple phone call to say you're thinking about me. Wanna make sure that I'm doing okay. Say you can't wait until tonight when you see me, and I can't wait for you to hold me in your arms. Spending time with you just feels so right. I wish that I could be with you all day long. Every time I think of this love, I think about the times that we gave up. Remembering the time before you made me your lady. Can't imagine life without you being my baby.
Okay. Do a few songs. I'm still trying to figure out how we gonna make it. We've lost our kind of industry connects. What are we going to do to get to the next level? Now, y'all know I was serious about school. I was serious about being the first person in my family to graduate college. Like, so I'm still in it. And now, hello, we're coming up on the end of sophomore year. And so I am making plans for junior year right at this point because I don't have an active plan to continue this music pursuit. So yes, I'm in the studio. Yes, there are folks like, reaching out about different things, but nobody who's like nobody's being like, hey, here's your record deal, right? And we don't exactly know how to get to whomever is going to now support us in figuring that out. So I'm simultaneously working with my mom to see, am I going to get on? Am I not? Right? Doing music where I can. And I am in school, barely in class. Oh my gosh, I got so much going on. I'm barely in class, but I'm in school. I'm in school and I'm making plans for junior year. And oh my gosh. Okay, so one of my good girlfriends, I call her a sister really, since middle school, we went to middle school together, comes to visit me from her college. I'm not gonna name her because she real private, so I don't know how she gonna act. But comes to visit me at Maryland from her college, which is in Ohio. And she comes, it's like she's coming from a super, super small school, and she gets to Maryland and she's like, this is it. Like, what am I doing out there when I could be here? And so she comes, we getting lit, we having a good time. She meets one of my people, like one of my friends who's like in the guy group that I hang out with. Sparks fly. They all, cuddled up. It's very cute. It's a very cute moment. I like to call myself a matchmaker. Again, another story, another series. And she literally falls in love with the place and the man and is like, I should go to school here. And I'm like, absolutely. This is, one of my closest friends in the world. We've known each other since we were kids. And I'm like, yes, let's do this. So we start making plans because y'all, hello. Yes, I want to get in the industry, but I don't know how it's going to happen, if it's going to happen. And so, yeah, I got to continue my school pursuit. Okay, so what we going to call my friend, my sister? Let's call her Lisa. So Lisa leaves her school. We make plans as we're finishing sophomore year to move in together. The first 2 years of college, I was on campus in, Hartford Hall, South Campus, shout out. Don't know how, anyway. And I don't remember why I have to leave campus, or if I had to leave campus, or if this was, I don't remember why the reason was that I was moving into like housing that was off campus. Maybe just because I was going into junior year and that's what we did. It was 20 years ago, so I don't remember. We sign a lease, okay, for one of those apartment buildings that's connected to the school, but not actually campus housing. So we got to pay for it. And the plans are in motion. She's coming over from Ohio. It's happening. And then enter MySpace. So If you know, you know. Where my millennials at? I hope some Gen Z folks are here too. But I know this is our space. So MySpace, was TikTok, Instagram, all these things before that existed, Facebook. And wait, which came first, Facebook or MySpace? It doesn't matter. We talking about MySpace. Y'all know I'm a tangent girl. I be getting off on the tangents. And Nico wants to be in this video today. I hear her. Okay. MySpace is blowing up for me, obviously. If I got the fans in person and I got the fans from TV, obviously the people have now found a way to connect with me on social media. And so I have tens of thousands of MySpace friends. That's what the followers were called back then, okay? And it's all support. It's people who are like, oh my gosh, go Dominique, go. I saw you and I love you and you're so talented and we can't wait for your album. People are like, we can't wait for your album. People are not even necessarily talking about being signed, but people are like, where's the music, kid? Where's the music? Where's the music? So I am obviously releasing the songs that I'm making to MySpace. I believe YouTube was around by then, so putting them up on YouTube, like wherever the spaces are that the music can go, I'm putting it there. So I'm building up a little following, and I'm now starting to be like, what I'm gonna tell these people, because I don't got nothing to give them. Like, I don't know what's next. And in my mind, when I go into junior year, I don't really know how I'm gonna have time. I can't keep playing around with school and actually graduate, okay? Like, C's get degrees, D's not so much, right? So I am trying to figure out what is the conversation with the fans about what comes next. And I don't have an answer. And then I get a message from a man on MySpace that says, hey, I'm a huge fan. You inspired me in all these ways, and I want to support you by sponsoring your career. I'm going to give you $100,000 to pop off. Y'all, I'm from Highbridge. A scam is a scam is a scam, and I can smell a scam coming from really, really far away. Like really, really far away. I'm like, oh, you scamming? Okay, I know the scammers. So you're not gonna get me, So I remember initially completely ignoring this message, because I'm like, why are you on here scamming? Why are you telling me you're going to give me $100,000? Come on, B. And so shout out to my sponsor, but I'm not going to say his name because I don't know, I don't know how he feels. We're still connected on socials. I ain't trying to, put my people out there, but I kind of laugh it off initially. What made it become serious? Maybe telling my mom, the dreamer of all dreamers, that maybe it was my mom. Maybe. This is a maybe. Like, hey, look at this message. Why would somebody play on my life like this and make it seem like they got $100,000 laying around? And so my mom is like, well, I think, again, that this conversation happened with my mom. Like, okay, well, you got to at least run it down. You got to see what it's about. And enter Johan Powell, who became my entertainment lawyer. Shout out to Johan. Oh my gosh. Like, I haven't had 100 entertainment lawyers, but I do think I had the best entertainment lawyer, because any pickle I was in, he got me out of it. So for me, that's my measure. 10 out of 10. 10 10s across the board. Shout out to Johan. So my mom, again, how does she know these people? I don't know. Ask Monique. But she's like, we're going to get with Johan. We're going to have him, kind of bring the parties together to see if this is real and go from there. Because if it's fake, it's fake. But like, if not, hello, it's $100,000. So let me get a little more of the story. He has this sponsor has this beautiful story of like how he was remember this, Dominique, he was a Mary Kay salesman in blank, because if I say where he lived, people might be able to figure, right? He was a Mary Kay salesman, and like something about watching me on TV inspired him, I think, to become like the number one, like to keep hustling basically, underdog kind of story, and became like the number one Mary Kay salesman in his area. And you know, I'd be forgetting that it's not just millennials here. If you don't know what Mary Kay is, if you don't know what Mary Kay is, Google it, okay? So, number one, like became the number one Mary Kay salesman in his area. And then, I don't know what the sequence of events were, but there was some kind of accident. Something happened in his life that ran him into all this money. Obviously way more than $100,000, okay? If he give it away, $100,000. So, you know, something happened in his life that where the money fell in your lap. Lot of money, okay? And so he's like, there's no gimmick here. There is no, like, obviously it's supposed to be an investment. So it wasn't just like, I'm giving it to you away for free, but that's how much you inspired me that I will literally invest in your career. And so we go to New York. We have to like have a meeting where my lawyer connects with him, gets all the information, you know, learns what are your goals, what are you looking to get out of this, you know, what are the terms for paying back, and says, you know, I can draw up a contract. We all have this meeting. I get to meet him in person. He is one of the sweetest human beings I have ever met in my lifetime. I can't remember if his girlfriend at the time was there with him. Anyway, just like where you're just kind of like, you scam it. Like, you know, in your mind, being a Bronx girl, somebody emails you and says, I'm going to hit you on MySpace and says, I'm going to give you $100,000. It's a scam. So you're kind of just side-eyeing the whole situation as you go through it. You know, he walks in the room, he tells his story, it's tear-jerker, okay, of a story. And just, I don't know, you meet people, one of the nicest, sweetest, and I'm not even just saying that because this man gave me money, we getting there, but his spirit, you know, his spirit walked into the room with him, and it was legit. It was legit. The man was for real. He wasn't kidding. There were no gimmicks. And for real, the contract ended up being so easy. I mean, he's like, look, if you hit, I make money in these ways. If you don't hit, I take an L. That's it. And again, I had the best entertainment lawyer in the business. So there were all these stipulations he put in, like, okay, you can have money from album sales and you can have money from this, but you can't have money from X, Y, and Z if we get there to whatever these other things are. Let's say sponsorships from Nike or whatever, you know. So it was really this, like, the whole time I'm like kind of tiptoeing because I'm like, is this for real? Am I being punked? Like, am I really, is this happening? Is this happening? Is this happening? And so it happened. I know y'all know I'm a truth teller. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not lying. So before, you know, okay, some things happen next, but hold on, because I just told y'all about Lisa, okay? My sister from another mister who I went to middle school with, who I have literally signed a lease with to be roommates in an apartment off campus at College Park for the following school year. So I go back to Lisa and I'm like, girl, we in a pickle. And I explain everything to Lisa. And I don't think I've ever said this to her, but the way I am in relationships and friendships, the way I love, call it my Pisces, call it whatever, it's so deep. I don't like to hurt the people I love. I don't like to disappoint the people I love. Call it trauma. But I was not, I mean, I wasn't trying to do this. I'm like, oh my, I was so scared, right? To let her down. This girl, and we from the Bronx. She's from the Bronx too, and has been through her share of things. And so like, it's not an easy thing to be like, I'm gonna drop out of this school, go to this school. I'm gonna move from Ohio to the, it's not a small thing. And I had to go to her to be like, what are we gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like, and so I remember just pins and needles going into that conversation. And y'all, I'm not gonna start crying, but I really do. Wow, am I starting to cry? No, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not doing that. I really have some of the best humans on the planet as my circle of friends. And I give myself credit because I show up for my people. I show up for my people. But my people also show up for me. And so here I am thinking this girl is about to be so devastated, and she may never forgive me, for saying, hey, I may have to pull out of this lease and hit the road. And she's like, girl, go. She's almost like, this is a no-brainer. The energy that she brought to that conversation was such a soft place to land for me, was such a relief, was such a, girl, we'll figure it out and go get that record deal. Like, hello, this is not, this ain't a debate. This is not an issue. Like, we can figure out the logistics. And I'll never, ever, ever forget feeling so covered and so loved in that moment from who I'm calling Lisa. So funny. And so I left. I'm trying to remember who was a part of the plan of what would come next and what I would do with this money. Because that came, but maybe I ain't gonna tell y'all that today, because that's a lot. Anyway, I will tell you loosely. I got $100,000 to go towards my career as a musician, as an artist, to get me closer to getting a record deal. I have to break or, come out of this lease we're about to enter into, me and my sister from another mister. I dropped out of college. I finished my sophomore year and I was going back to New York City. That's a lot. But that's what happened. So if you want to know what I did with this $100,000, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm still in shock and awe. I mean, I could use another 100,000 right now if my guys, this whole storyteller with Dominique Renee, we trying to take it to the moon. Anyway, you got to come back for the next episode, because the things that I keep feeling like I can't tell wilder stories. And then I think about it and I'm like, but I guess I can. I guess I can. So that's how your girl secured $100,000 to go towards my career. And I cannot wait to see you guys on the next episode of Storytelling with Dominique Renee, so I can tell you how we blew through the money. And I can tell you though, I did not run off on the plug. That's not who I am. Okay. I did what was intended with this money, and we're going to get into all of that. And we're also, like I said, we're going to get into where I've been. I owe you so much content. Watching Making the Band 3, season 3. I'm supposed to be listening to a Janet Jackson song where Neo gave away my beat. It's all the things. I'm getting settled. I'm here. I'm back on the scene. Hopefully I can stay on the scene on a weekly basis and not leave y'all for another 4 weeks. But love you. Subscribe, like if you haven't already. That would be crazy if you haven't already. But just never, ever forget. Say it with me. Ain't no story like a Dominique Renee story. Peace. Oh, P.S. Last time I talked about one of my friends, y'all had a bunch of questions about where are they now. So I can tell you, Lisa, down. Okay? Bridesmaid in my wedding. I'm flying to where she live with the whole fam. She flying to where I live. We are locked in all these years later. We're talking about, what am I, 40? I mean, we probably known each other since I was 12, 13. And we still locked in. Okay? She got my back, I got her back. I'm literally about to see her in a few months. And oh my gosh, y'all know I got baby Nico. We each have 3 children, and both of us had daughters within a month of each other last year. That's how locked in we are. So, me and Lisa, well and good. That's my boo thing.